Good evening. Welcome to day 23 of the 77-day video challenge. As I have shared with some of you before in earlier recordings, I track some of the quirky holidays and some of the significant holidays that pop up on the calendar so that I can share. Gives me cause to reflect on what I think is funny, what I think is kind of cruel, and perhaps also whether I may take myself a little too seriously sometimes. When I think about jokes, one of the first things I think about is practical jokes. To practical jokes. I have shared with people before that I think of practical jokes and pranks as engineered to hurt people, that it's premeditated schadenfreude. You just get a charge out of seeing other people embarrassed. And I really cannot support that. I find it ugly. I find it selfish. I think it's cruel. And only sometimes do I find it amusing. Especially if the person can then reflect on what happened to them and laugh about it and recognize their own vulnerability, celebrate that, and forgive whatever the person has done to them. So that's something that I know I might do well to work on. I would like to think that I don't take myself too seriously. I take a lot of things seriously, and I recognize the weight of people suffering, weight of people's sadness, as the case may be. Many years ago, I saw people make jokes about the cardboard signs people held up, the signs that read, "Will work for food." And they would joke around, and there would be people who had t-shirts that made, "Will work for beer, will work for sex." Signs, and I cringe when I see them now because that's not funny. That mocks somebody else's discomfort, somebody else's struggle. There are certainly circumstances under which the something to the effect that comedy bends but tragedy breaks. We have to remind ourselves of that sometimes, and I certainly have to remind myself of where the real pain emerges and what lessons can be learned, whether I can learn the that their circumstances could be so much worse. I think of myself as being a reasonably upbeat person with a good sense of humor. If you don't know that I've got a good sense of humor, then we really need to discuss humor. If you didn't know that, you need to pay attention. I thank you for taking this time with me this evening. I hope that you have had a good International Joke Day. Internationally, some things, humor doesn't translate, but understand the world around